Alright, so here we are for race 5 and racing organization. Welcome. Today Spa-Francorchamps. We are waiting for the drivers. Currently we have 18 drivers. Mm, 19 drivers actually, so we are waiting just for one more driver and we should start. Yes. So as we are waiting, I can tell you about the actual constructor standings, which are looking like McLaren is in first place. Besides that poor result in France, because there was only Houseman with in P7 I guess, and they have 91 points. And then we've got Red Bull, who are actually on the charge. Oh yes, good point, Peter. Then we've got Red Bull, who are just 4 points behind them. And in the third place we've got Ferrari ex aequo with Renault with 63 points. They are on the charge to stop McLaren. Go Lopez. Yeah. We are still waiting, so it's now 7 minutes of late. I hope that we will start in a second. It will be also the first race, as I remember, without our league founder, Wojtinho. We've got Dimon in because of Wojtinho is absent. So he will go alongside Libanov in Toro Rosso, and we've got also V8 Field with he's alone in Mercedes at the moment, and also Super Thomas in Racing Point is with Jim Stroh. Alright, so here we're starting. Drivers are ready and here we go. It's only 10 minutes of late. And here we go, 19 drivers on the grid today, and let's hope for a good race ahead of us. And here we are in Belgium. We are waiting for first drivers to come out of the pits. Mm, 19 drivers, as I said. And here we go. It's Ferrari. It's Pace Fan probably. It's his it's Champ, but the first one will be I should switch on the map. And it's Williams. It's Jair, who is first driver on track, and just behind him is Libanov. And we've got also Gui. It's his home race, as well as Pace Fans. It's also his home race, so we've got two Belgians on the grid today, and both are in Ferrari Academy. That's interesting, but I think we will follow Jair, as he's the first driver on the track. He now goes through the Pujon corner. It's 12th corner on the track, and most of drivers are now out on track. If we are talking about the strategy, it's probably gonna be soft mediums or mediums and softs, if someone will decide on the reversed strategy. But now Jair is in the last corner. He's preparing to his first hot lap. And now into the bus stop chicane he goes. Last corners, 20 corners on this track. Down into second gear. And now DRS opened, and the start finish straight into La Source, the first corner on the track. And now down into Orange and Radio. Second corner. And now very dangerous zone on track. Through Radio onto the Camel Straight, the longest straight on track. And, corners 7, 8 and 9. Of course, he has a... Oh, we've got... It's Champ who spun on Radio. That's Radion actually. And he hasn't... No, his front wing is safe, but his hot lap isn't that safe. He made a mistake probably, and meanwhile Jair is in the second sector. Through the Puchon he goes. Into the chicane. Second chicane on the track. Here a little bit deep, but it won't affect that much on his lap time. And now into the third sector he goes, of course, again record. Libanov meanwhile goes slower than the Williams driver. We've got yellow flag in sector 3, it's probably Jure who lets one of Alphas past, and meanwhile Jair into the bus-stop chicane, last two corners on the track, and into the finish it's 1:44.8, and Libanov goes second, 4/10 of the pace. Then we've got Gui, our Belgian driver, who goes third at the moment, the slowest. And now we've got both McLarens. Tim Mats goes second, 1/10 out of the Jair, and Hausman goes fastest, 1:44.2. Next up we will have no, not pace, it's gonna be Champ, but Champ destroyed his lap time because of his mistake on the Orange, and he starts now his second lap. Then we've got Lopez, I hope, but he made a mistake and he invalidated his lap time. And Pace Fan also invalidated his lap time, but he's giving one more chance. Oh, there was an oversteer on the exit. Then we've got Demon. No, it's not. Demon goes into the pits. We've got second Williams on the hot lap. It's Pure Fantasia, and he goes second fastest. So 2/10 of the Houseman. Next up we've got Jimstro, I hope. Yes, he's in the last corner, but it's not gonna be a good lap time. It's only P6, but he is on the mediums. And Natik meanwhile goes first fastest, 1 second in front of Houseman. We've got also Otapa, but he's already starting his lap time. Meanwhile we've got Paceman on his second hot lap. No, it's Paceman. Champ goes fastest in the second sector of the track, so we will follow him through the third sector. Through the Blanchimont he goes into the bus-stop chicane, and is it gonna be enough to hit the leading pack? Last corner, and what will the time look like? It's P5 only, 1:44.6, and we are back to Paceman, who invalidated his lap time again, so he has to go into the pits and make another try. The only man on the hot lap is Otapa, who is in the third sector already. Through the Blanchimont. We've got also Jimstrom, but I don't think he isn't on his hot lap. And Otapa, last corners, and it's gonna be 1:45.4 P9 only for Haas driver. We've got another group on their outlaps. We've got, for example, Dex, who is starting his lap. He is into La Source and down into En Rouge. Meanwhile, Jure and Vilzu goes fourth fastest, 144.3. So we got two Red Bulls on the second row at the moment, and no one on the hot lap except of Dex, who is in the second sector. In France, he got the front row just behind his teammate Buffle, but Buffle was there because of Fire Tryon was absent. And meanwhile Dex goes through Otapa into the Pujon. Very fast corner, nearly 300 kilometers per hour. There we've got V8 Field, who is, I don't know what he's doing, but he's probably letting by the drivers on their hot laps. And Dex goes fastest in the second sector, but I don't think it's for real. It might be a mistake of the game. But now he's ending his lap time, and is it gonna be the front row? Maybe. It might be actually, and yes, it's P1. P1 for the Renault driver, the first driver to make to break the border of 144. And next up we've got Lopez, I hope, in the Haas. He's in the end of sector 2. Now he goes into the sector 3, but it's quite poor exit out of that turn. We've got also Demon on his first hot lap. But who is close? Gui isn't close, so Lopez is the closest one to finish his lap time. Oh, and he goes into the pits, so he longer. We've got Team Mats on his hot lap, but he isn't on a hot lap. He isn't close, and we've got Houseman on his second hot lap. Super Thomas Gel, he invalidated his lap time, so it won't be counting. And Demon also the same as Super Thomas. Gui is ending second sector. We've got also Libanov, Timats and Jair on their hot laps. Demon is out of the session, it's Pujon. So he probably clipped the curb on the inside or not. He's still running, so I don't know what is he doing. I don't know if he just left the session or something. But we don't mind. Timats is ending his hot lap. And is he gonna match the pace of Houseman? No. He improves, but only by 4/100ths of a second. Otapa on his second hot lap, I don't know what he's doing here, but he improves, but around 24/1000ths of a second. We got Payson on his hot lap, but he's starting. Champ is also starting. And Libanov is ending his lap time. He's currently P10, and now he goes into P7, 6/10ths up on his previous best. Who is close? Houseman goes second, and he also matches the pace of Dex. He goes 143.9, but Jure goes faster than Houseman, just 11/1000ths of a second. And we got also Fire Tryon, who is starting his first hot lap. Natik is ending his lap. He's in the last corner. Can he get himself up? No. He improves, but only by 26 one-thousandth of a second. Pure Fantasy goes into the pits. We've got second Red Bull, but Vilzu is only starting his lap time. We've got V8 Field also on his out lap. Team Mats is going to the pits probably, and Gui is in his hot lap. Paceman is on his hot lap, and he's following by Champ, but the first one to cross the line is Paceman, and it's P7 for him. It's a strong result on the medium tires, and Champ goes into the pits. Next up we've got Otapa. He's got 3 laps on his tires. Libanov is also going into the pits, and the second Haas is also going into the pits. He probably broke his front wing, and we've got Fireshot Ryan on his hot lap, and he's Haasman is out of the session on the last corner. He probably wanted to go into the pits, and I don't know if he hit the wall on the entry, but that's a beginner's mistake. I don't know what he did there, and I think I don't want to. Natik is going into the pits, but Prime Vilzu is in the third sector. Natik is going very, very slowly. I hope that he won't disturb to Vilzu. No, he won't. And Vilzu goes into the last part of the track. And now onto the start-finish straight, and across the line he improves by only 1.5 tenths of a second. Jair starts his hot lap. We've got also V8 Field ending his lap, and he goes P14, so it's not a good result for Mercedes. They wanted more, I think. Super Thomas with another invalidated lap time. It's not looking well for Racing Point, especially it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds to end of the session. Is there anyone on the hot lap? It's Jair, but Jair is after the first sector only. He's following his teammate who is on his out lap. So we've got 3 drivers already out before the end of qualifying. Gui is out of the session, but it's the out of turn 16. It's also a dangerous place. Meanwhile, Jair is Gui's Alpha is on the middle of the track, so Jair might have been scared, but he's ending his lap. He was improving by 7 tenths of a second after 2 sectors. It might put him around P5, P4, I think, and he goes P4. It's 143.9, so it's a very nice result for him. We've got Team Mats on his hot lap. Otapa is out of the session, everyone are retiring. Pure Fantasy is starting. There we've got a nice group of drivers, but everyone's starting their laps. Paceman, Libanov, Natik, Jura and Dex are starting. Also Lopez, it's the last chance for him. And also Fireshot Ryan and Super Thomas, who gets another invalidation, and it's second lap on these tires, and he's gonna go one more lap. He's He's got one more lap to do. Maybe now... oh no, he's retiring, never mind. So we've got a nice group on their hot laps, but the closest one is Timmats, I think. Yes, he's improving by 3/10, so it's gonna give him around P10, P9, so it's not gonna be a big improvement, but it may help McLaren to get some points today. And Timmats goes P7, so it's quite nice result, but it's half a second off the pace of his teammate. Prime Vilzu isn't improving. We've got Pure Fantasy on his hot lap. And Pure Fantasy... oh, it's oversteer and he is out of the session. It's terrible mistake for him on the last corner when he was improving. And we've got Lipanov ending his lap, but actually Champ will be first and he goes P5. And Lipanov, last two sectors, don't make a mistake. And he goes P9. So it's a quite nice result for Toro Rosso, and we are waiting only for Natik and Lopez. Lopez hasn't got a time yet, and Natik is improving by 0.4 of a second, so it might be and it's only 1/10 of the pace of Dex, who gets a pole position. I think I can say that Lopez makes a mistake on the last corner, so it's not gonna be a good qualifying session for Haas. And Dex goes into pole position, the second pole position in a row for Renault. Last race in France we had a front row lockout for the French team, and now we've got Dex on the pole position with a very nice time, actually 1:43.4. 1/10 behind him is Natik, then Jure, Hausman, Jair, Champ, Vilzu, Fireshot Ryan, Lipanov, Timmats, and these drivers have free choice of their tires on the start. So Pure Fantasy, Pacevan, Otapa, Jimstrow, V8 Field, and Gui, Lopez, and Super Thomas and Demon Racing didn't match the time. So now we are waiting for the lights to go green, and we will start the Belgian Grand Prix Season 3 ERO. So drivers are changing their strategies. And who is gonna be on that beautiful podium just up there, up on above the Mercedes garage? Is it gonna be Renault again, second race in the row, or somebody else? 5 seconds to go, and formation lap is starting now. So Renault and Alpha on the first row. Let's check the tires. The first 10, everyone are on softs, of course, and then from P11 to P15 we've got mediums, and last 4 drivers, I mean Gui, Lopez, Super Thomas and Demon, are on softs. So we've got only 5 drivers with the reversed strategy. And We will see how this race opens up. Can Dex deal with the pressure of the front row? He was on the front row last race and it didn't end up well, but maybe now it's time for him to show his brilliance. I will check the comments. I'm playing with controller actually. Yeah, good luck for everyone. We are now in the last sector and we will start the race 5 of the season 3. And now Dex is lining up on his place, on his starting position. He's on the inside, so he has actually shorter distance to the first corner, and he can lock the inside for the Natic, who will be trying to pass the Renault, and we will see in a minute how it all will look like. And now we've got lights, got 4-5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Very nice start, everyone are out, and Dex covers the inside. Jurek goes down the inside on the Alpha, and Dex holds up the first place, and there is a Houseman going wide. Houseman, it's a disastrous start for both McLarens. What is happening down? Jair overtakes Jure down into Eau Rouge. Good start for the Williams. V8 Field overtakes Gui. And now we've got Jure on the back of Jair, and is it gonna be an attack? No, nothing changes, and nothing touches the back of the Jure and loses the position for Prime, Vilzu. Jinstro is losing places too for teammates and Pure Fantasy. And down into the hairpin they go. No contacts there. We've got Demon Racing going down the field. Got also Hobson on the back of Fireshot Ryan. F1 Champ is going wide on Puchon, and Fireshot Ryan may gain a position on it, but he doesn't do it. And we've got Gui retakes the position or no on the V8 field. They are fighting each other. And now into that turn we've got yellow flag. Is there somebody? Yes, somebody spun. It's Fireshot Ryan. Unfortunately, the second Renault isn't doing that good as Dex. Dex is going ahead. He's now above a second ahead of Jair. And now we've got Super Thomas against Demon into the last corners, and nothing changes. We've got Jure and Vils going down the inside on the Jure. Got both Red Bulls in the leading pack. We've got also teammates overtaking Otapa, but they are going side by side into Eau Rouge. How is it gonna end? Is somebody gonna... Yes, teammates didn't want to risk anything, but now he's gonna have a... And V8 Phil is spun on the radio. And also Pacevan is overtaking Jimstro, but he can't quite... Or may he? Because there was a VSC actually, and he did it just before the VSC to start, so he was lucky there. Fireshot Ryan overtakes V8 Field. V8 Field has damage. Yes, he has no front wing, and he's a long way from home. So it's gonna be very hard to recover. But maybe on hards, maybe he can do it. And now we are racing again. We've got Pace and Jimstro and Pure Fantasy fighting each other. There is also team mats really close, and Koi are side by side with Demon. He's now down on the inside, but now Demon has the inside line, and he's gonna get on top. Yes, but now Goi has still got a slipstream as well as Super Thomas, but there was some dangerous driving going there. We've got Prime Wheels very close to Jair, and he goes around the outside on the last corner on track, and he gets a worse exit than the Williams driver. And there is also Jure on the inside of his teammate. They are fighting, and Vilzu touches a little bit of Williams, and they are going again side by side into Eau Rouge. It's a very nice group of cars fighting for P2. And we've got Vilzu just behind Jair. He has DRS now. It's lap 3, and Jimstro has spun on the... And there is also Super Thomas. There are both racing points out of the race, and we've got a PSC again. Nothing changed, or no, Jair lost place because of Vilzu, and that's the only change. Dex is now 3 seconds ahead of Vilzu. It's a very nice result for him. Hausen with a 3-second time penalty. Now, just before the third lap to end. And we got also there the Jimstro, Lopez and Gui, and the chasing V8 Field. Prime Vilzu is actually 5 places up from the start. It's a fantastic start for him, but Demon one on the gravel, and this F1 champ he spun, and he is down into last place. And there is also Gui on the gravel. What happened there? I didn't look at him. There is so many things happening there. Fireshot Ryan is overtaking Jimstro, and Jura is on the back of Jair into the start-finish straight. He has got the slipstream. Can he attack Williams driver? Yes, he goes down the inside and he gets the job done. Not quite. Can do it, but maybe into the Lecombe. Now they are going down into Eau Rouge and up into Radion. Maybe now. He has got DRS, but Jair has got DRS too. Otapa is getting overtaken by Demon. Demon is on a charge. He's 9 places up now. Jimstro and Gui are in the pits. We've got also battle between Haas and Renault. Fireshot Ryan is overtaking Lopez into the Lecombe. Gui is at the back of the grid now. And we've got some silence now. Sector 3, it's yellow flag. It's Lopez out of the session. He got an oversteer probably, and he hit the wall. And we've got a full safety car. And it might affect on drivers to change their strategy. Because we've got the first 7 drivers on softs. And if they pit now on hards, they may have a chance to go to the end of the race. So let's check. The Timon is obviously the T-Bone of the starts, 9 places up, but also big congrats to Vilzu and Dex, because his first 4 laps were just amazing. 2.5 seconds gap to Vilzu, and he goes now into the pits. I told you that it might affect on changing the strategy, and we will see what are the tires they're gonna fit. And we've got only Natic and Pure Fantasy. No, it's only Natic who stayed out, and Dex goes into the mediums. Meanwhile, Vils goes into the hards, and we've got both Torrosos in the pits. They're gonna stack, and Demon is gonna stack behind for a moment, but they are both going onto the mediums. So these mediums, I don't think they are gonna last to the end, but maybe they will surprise us. And now we've got Natic onto the lead, on the lead of the race. Just behind him is Williams, Pure Fantasy, who in France was also on the P2 for the long time, and he actually ended up out of top 10, so it didn't end up well, but it was because of his teammate who didn't retire from the session properly. And we've got Otapa on the P4. It's a very nice information, because he's as well as Pure Fantasy and Payson are already 9 places up, but it's all thanks to their strategy, because they started on the mediums. And it's a very nice result for them at the moment. Team Racing with a 5-second time penalty for colliding with Jure, so he may have a damaged front wing, and yes, he has. So it's not a good information, especially after such a good start. And so Belgium is actually one of the longest tracks it's actually the longest track on the calendar, so we're gonna go one more lap behind the safety car, I think. We've got Jimstro chasing the safety car. He's on the back of the grid, but he will now be closer. And now we've got some silence on track. Oh, and Pure Fantasy goes into the back of Natic. Fortunately, no damage made for him, and Demon Racing goes into the pits, and he's gonna be down to last place. It's not a good information for him. He's gonna fit the hards probably, or no, it's mediums again, and he's staying stationary because of the 5-second time penalty, and these are mediums again. So, and also changing his front wing. So yes, we will see if he can. Oh, what did he do? Oh, it's a beginner's mistake. He didn't slow down into the. I won't show him. He just didn't slow down in front of turn 1, and he's gonna probably pit once more. Actually, these mediums can be used to the end, so we will see. What is gonna Demon do? Is he gonna pit once more? I think he should, especially if we will go one more lap behind safety car, but we will see in a minute. I don't have any water left, and my throat is starting to burn, but I have to I have to just keep on with the race. Oh, and we've got safety car in this lap. So we go racing at the end of this lap, finally. And it's of course disaster for Demon, because he has to pit once more if he wants to fight. But he's gonna lose so much time on pitting for the third time. And now, how is gonna Pure Fantasy deal with the restart? Can he do it better than Natik? He will have Jimstro with a collision with Demon. I don't know how he did this, because he was in front of him and Demon is out of the session. He has enough. He has just enough, and Natik excellent restart. And no places changes, but now we've got Jair very close to Vilzu, but nothing, and Vilzu gets a very poor exit out of turn 1, and they are side by side now, and Vilzu is gonna just easily give up the position to the Williams driver. F1 Champ is close to teammates, but not that close. We got also Gui very close to V8 Phil. He has got the slipstream and he just gets through him. Excellent move for him. We got also Paceman close to Pure Fantasy. And Dex close to Atapa. And Vilzu, who wants to fight back to Jair. No changes at the moment. We've got Jure very close to Libanov. Through Puchon they go. He wanted to scare the Toro Rosso driver, but he couldn't quite make a move. V8 Field fights with Gui. And he's just at his gearbox. He's waiting for his mistake. Oh, and the Mercedes driver makes a mistake. And we've got Dex very close to Atapa. Can he go down the inside? No, he won't. He doesn't want to risk, because he has the pace to easily win the Grand Prix. He has the strategy which may give him the victory. We've got Libanov, Vilzu and Jair really close to themselves. And will we see any changes on this straight? On the Libanov clipped the curb and he nearly spun, but fortunately no damage. And there was some dangerous driving from Firestry. He wanted to block the Jair, but he didn't do it. But Jair actually didn't quite made a move, and Champ overtook teammates, and also Field are changing places with Jimstro. We've got Jure close to Libanov, and Demon Racing who is ghosting. It's not the way we are retiring from the race. Houseman close to Jure, but he won't attack here. He will have a chance on the start-finish straight. And Dex actually made a move on Atapa. Atapa is losing places. He's gonna he's gonna go down the order in a minute. And Jair, he's on the gearbox of Fireshot Ryan. Into the bus stop chicane they go. And Jure switching places with Libanov. Libanov gets overtaken, but Jure, I don't know what he has done there. I think he didn't brake on time, and Jair goes into the back of the Fireshot Ryan. Jure gets overtaken by teammates, and they are going side by side again, but teammates doesn't want to risk into the Orush. Atapa with a 3-second time. Jair overtakes Fireshot Ryan. Now he gets the job done, and maybe Otapa. He wasn't that far from the Haas driver, and got Gui getting overtaken by Jimstro. Everyone are so close to each other. They're less than a second advantages. Closest one is Fireshot Ryan. He's very close to Jair, but Jair overtook him on the Camel Straight actually, and we've got Jump getting overtaken by Jure. So he's falling back. Natik is in the lead at the moment, but he's gonna pit soon, maybe even in this lap. And Dex is chasing. Dex wants to win this race. And is Natik going to the pits? No. He's staying one more lap, and Fireshot Ryan and Prime Vilzu are switching places. Prime Vilzu gets a better exit, and he will have DRS as well as Fireshot Ryan actually. And there is also Libanov at the back of them, and Prime Vilzu goes down the inside of the Renault driver, but Renault driver fights back. Fantastic defense for him. And we've got also Champ in the pits, but we don't care about him. Will we see any changes on the Camel Straight? Fireshot Ryan is gonna be in danger. Libanov overtakes Fireshot Ryan as well as Prime Vilzu, but also Hausman gains a position. So it's time to pit, I think. It's time to pit, because Jure is also at the back. What did Fireshot Ryan do? He just went off the racing line, and he slowed down. So he didn't want to fight, I think, and he gets overtaken by V8 Field on the hairpin. And Natik lost his advantage on Pure Fantasy, and Pure Fantasy goes down the inside, and he gets the lead, and also Paceman may get a job done. Yes, he is, and Natik loses 2 places in 2 corners. There was a yellow flag actually also, but there was Jimstro, and it wasn't any bigger incidents. And now Natik from the way back, he gets 10-second time penalty, and he wants to get into the pits. He wanted to dive bomb Paceman, and it didn't end up well. It might be the best move ever, but it wasn't. It was the stupidest move ever actually. And we've got Prime Vilzu very close to Otapa. Otapa is losing time, is losing so much time to the other drivers, and Vilzu gets probably an warning for that expedition on the Bradillon, and around the outside he goes on Otapa into Lecombe. Otapa has no chance. And we are actually in the half of the race now, and we've got a Williams in the lead. V8 Field is still changing places with Gui. They are fighting hard, and here we've got Hausman close to Libanov. Hausman is actually chasing Jure in the driver standings. He has 13 points gap to the Red Bull driver, but the Red Bull driver is just behind him. Also Paceman is close, but not that close to Pure Fantasy. And we had also the Hausman really close to Libanov, but Libanov is close to Otapa. Otapa, who is losing time from the very beginning of the end of the safety car. But there is also ERO who wants to fight. And who's gonna first attack Otapa? Is it gonna be Libanov or Houseman? Houseman is actually closing and with a 3-second time penalty, and Houseman out of the radio, but Libanov is gonna be first. But now, they are touching with Otapa and Libanov, and Houseman might have gone. Oh! What is happening there? There was a Libanov was flying through the Otapa, and they are still fighting. And also ERO fights with Houseman. They are going side by side, but Houseman gives up the position into the hairpin, and Otapa and Libanov are ghosting through each other. And Libanov is gonna overtake Otapa, or maybe no. They are still battling inside each other, and Houseman lost quite a lot of time to this group, so it didn't end up well for the McLaren driver, and Libanov finally gets the job done after half of a lap being inside the Haas. It wasn't the best experience for him, for sure. And we've got also Pure Fantasy got overtaken by Facefan. Sorry, I didn't show it but Otapa goes down another position for this time for ERO, but he wants to fight back, and he cuts the chicane, and he gets a 5-second time penalty. And we've got also Alpha switching places. There is ERO really close to Libanov. We've got also Dex, our earlier leader, on the back of Pure Fantasy. He's really close, and he's closing. Pure Fantasy wants to cover the inside, but he can't quite do it. And Otapa is out of the session. It's Radion, and we've got a VSC, and Dex couldn't quite attack the Williams. And we've got rain, so it may affect on the strategies very much, and Paceman can actually gain the most, because he's in the front and everyone has to pit, and he's gonna be in the lead. Is it time for the intermediates now? It's the first rain in the season, if I'm correct. And now we've got DRS again enabled, and now it's very slippery out there, and we will see any spins or something. Drivers with traction control off will have big problems now. They have to go into the pits. Demon Racing, who is Ghost, goes into the pits for the intermediates, I think, and Natic overtakes the V8 field into the Puchons, so V8 field had to make a mistake, and we've got yellow flag. Houseman is out of the session. It's a disaster for the second driver in the championship standings. He won't score any points here, and Pure Fantasy. Wow, so many happening on track. Gyre also, they can't actually fit into the. Oh my god, they can't get into the pits because of the rain. It's something terrible for everyone. F1 champ really close to GUI. He lost the most because he pitted for the softs, and they can't steer at all. And everyone are getting penalties. What did champ do? He goes down the inside of GUI into the pit entry. And we have got full wets for team mats and for ERO, so it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be much worse. And Paceman, I don't know, he probably didn't quite match to enter the pit lane. I don't know what to say, to be honest. It's so much things happening there. It's carnage. Paceman from the first position goes from hero to zero, actually. And wow, we've got so intense races in F2 division this year. In Pacefan it's something disaster. It's something like, I don't know what to say, to be honest. And he's gonna lose very much places. He wants to defend against Dex, but he can't do it on mediums, especially when it's raining, and it's raining so much that Yura and teammates are on wets, and also Fireshot Ryan is on the wets. I thought I just saw, and Libanov also. It's road from hell for Pacefan to go into the pits. I don't know, he didn't quite match the pit entry. I didn't saw such situation in my entire life, I think. But now we've got Dex. He was leading, but the rain destroyed it all, and he is now down into P3. And Pure Fantasy is actually another Michael Schumacher or something, because he is just flying in the rain. He has 7-second advantage above the Vilzu, and got Yura in the pits. These wets aren't good for this weather, and Pacefan is retiring from the session, of course. His frustration was too big, too huge, I think, because one more lap in these conditions on slick tires, it was a disaster. And we've got only 13 drivers on track, and Dex gets a 3-second time penalty. Pacefan is definitely out, and so is teammates gonna pit also, because I don't think it's so bad for wets. He's struggling. He's pretty much struggling, and Natik may gain a position there, so it's disaster for McLaren at the moment. And yes, it's gonna be into the Puchon. It's not gonna end up well, but teammates gives up the position. He doesn't want to fight. He has no chance, actually. And Dex is very close to Vilzu also. So can he do it? I think it's the only position he can gain in this race. We've got one of the Red Bulls, it's Yura, who is also struggling, and he's damaging his front wing, and he slides. It's deja vu. Wow, that was incredible. Wow. Beautiful, just beautiful. But it's not what we are doing here. That was drifting in an F1 car. Dex is losing time to Vilzoom, but he will be on the podium. At least he's on it at the moment, and Pure Fantasy is pulling away all the time. He's the master of or he isn't. No one is master in every single gift, and Pure Fantasy still makes his lead bigger and bigger. Actually, Vilzu now gained a second now, but that was because of the mistake. But he's still safe, and we've got no battles actually on track, so I'm gonna check the penalties. If Pure Fantasy has he has no warnings actually. Vilzu has 1 penalty and 1 warning. Dex has also 1 penalty. Libanov has no penalties. Jimstrow has for Natik, and Cham has got 2 penalties. I think that we are off the stream but I hope that we will be right back. Sorry, my internet connection isn't too good, especially today, but now bigger battles on the track. I have to check if we are live. Yes, we are live, fortunately. I'm from Poland. I know my English accent isn't perfect, but I'm trying. I hope that it's it's not a disaster, my commentary. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. It's one of the Red Bulls. It's ERO who is out. We'll see. Yes, it's ERO. He had problems. He did a fantastic deja vu last lap, and now he couldn't quite do it, and he is out of the race now. So unfortunately, we haven't got both ERO and Houseman, the people who are fighting for the championship leader, so it may affect on the new championship leader, but I don't know who is third at the moment. I have to check it, as nothing interesting is going on the track. Timats is actually on the third place at the moment, but he's in P11, so Dex is next. He has got 40 points and he's now in P3, and if he finishes like that, he can get himself up into P2, just 9 points behind ERO. We've got Natik on the charge just behind our Greek driver, Jimstro. It's an absolute chaos, I know. Libanov with a 3-second time penalty. But Libanov is actually in P4, so it's many pit stops, many pit stops. He's 5 places up. Pure Fantasy is 10 places up if he can go to the end like this, but Prime Vilzu is actually on the charge. He is now 5.5 seconds off the pace of Pure Fantasy. It's gonna be a great comeback story for the Williams. Prime Vilzu is 5 places up. Dex is of course 2 places down from the pole position. Libanov is 5 places up. Jimstro is 9 places up, so it's also a nice result for him. We've got a yellow flag. It's Fireshot Ryan on the radio, and Timats gets himself up into 10th place. It's 1 point for him at the moment. Natik is 4 places down. F1 Champ is 1 place down, and both V8 Field and GUI are 7 places up. And I remember that they were fighting for the whole race actually, so it's a very nice result for both of them. Timats stays as it stays. Fireshot Ryan is 3 places down, and Demon Racing, who isn't actually racing from the very beginning, is 7 places up thanks to his ghost running. The fastest lap of the race belongs to Fireshot Ryan, so and it's not gonna change till the end of the race, so he is gonna get 1 point if he will finish the race. Let's see, of course tires are all the same. Timas was in the pits. I didn't quite saw that. And we've got GUI overtaking V8 Field on the Camel Straight, and V8 Field gets an oversteer. It's very slippery out there. Maybe it's even the weather for the wets, but I don't think so. It may be slippery, but not that much. And we've got also Natik on the back of Jim Stroh, and he's also gonna try to attack. Maybe even on the next lap. We've got 3 laps to go from Pure Fantasy starts the lap number 20, but Vilzu is on a charge. It's only 4.5 seconds to the Williams driver, but is it gonna be enough? I don't know. Surely not. Natik is closing and closing on Jim Stroh, but it isn't that easy, especially in the rain on the Spa. But now he is gonna have a chance, but he has to go safely through the Eau Rouge and Radion, and it's a safely exit. And now he's got slipstream behind Jim Stroh. Jim Stroh covers the inside, he pulls out onto the outside line, and it's gonna be a job done. Yes, it is, and Natik is now up into 5th place. And now it's a long way to Libanov. Libanov is safe in his 4th place, so it's an excellent result actually for Toro Rosso at the moment. And V8 Field is losing and losing to GUI, and I don't think that we will see many more switches in the pack from now. Prime Vilzu lost half a second at this lap, and Pure Fantasy is starting the lap number 21. It's 2 laps to go. Can he do it? Can he make a great comeback from P11 to P1 on the finish? It's gonna be fifth winner in 5th race, so this season is gonna be much more interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. It's just like the 2012 season in Real F1, where we had 7 different winners in 7 first races, and now a little bit of an oversteer for the Williams driver. He had his chance in France, where he was 2nd, but the disastrous pit stop of the Williams crew destroyed it all, and he ended up with the fastest lap out of the points, with the 1 single point. So it's really calm on track. Nothing really happening there. Demon Racing is 12th, and he's gonna go to the end, but it's his ghost actually, not him. And I don't know what to look for, so I'm gonna look for our leader, who is starting the very last lap of the Belgian Grand Prix Season 3, ERO, of course. One last lap, 7.5 kilometers in front of him. Can he do it? Prime Vilzu, 5 seconds behind him. And Dex, another 5 seconds behind the Red Bull driver. Safely through Orush. Also Vilzu and Dex is gonna follow. Safely through. He's gonna be the biggest loser actually of the race, because from the P1 and the rain destroyed his whole strategy, because he was actually the main competitor to win this race, but the rain is unpredictable and it showed in the worst possible moment. But you can also not pit, just a space fan. But it was actually very unlucky for him. He also had a big chance to win. But now Pure Fantasy has got one more sector to go. It's actually 3 or 4 more corners through Blanchimont, and he's gonna win or not. Oh, we had a big jump of the emotions there, because it could be the worst possible scenario for him, but Pure Fantasy wins the Belgian Grand Prix in the style, and Prime Vilzu is following him, P2 for him, and Dex is gonna come to the finish line on the 3rd place. We've got also Libanov ending his race. It's also a very nice result for the Toro Rosso, P4 for them, 12 points on the board. Very nice result. They are in front of Alpha now. Nati goes 5th, and he got overtaken by Jimstro, who goes 5th, and also Champ overtakes the Alpha driver, so it's only P7 and P8 for them, if GUI doesn't have that many penalties. So it's a disaster for Natik actually, and it's P8 and V8 field. Can he get in front of GUI? No. So P7 and P8 for Alpha, P9 for Mercedes, and we are only waiting for Team Mats and Fireshot Ryan, who are the last drivers to cross the finish line, and it's the only thing to know is Team Mats gonna end up with 1 point or Fireshot Ryan with 2. And yes, it's Fireshot Ryan with 2 points. So it's a very nice result for the Renault team. Actually 17 points today, but it's the most beautiful race for Williams. Great comeback story for Pure Fantasy, from P11 to P1 on the finish. So yeah, that's all for today. Romania wins today, and we will see 1 week later who will be on top. We are now going into the Great Britain, so these are the official results. Pure Fantasy, Prime Vilzu, Dex, Libanov, Jimstro, Champ, Natik, GUI, V8 Field, Fireshot Ryan are the point scorers, and Team Mats, Demon, Jure, Pacefan, Jair, Houseman, Otapa, Lopez and Super Thomas Gel are outside the points. It was another very nice race in our league. So yes, see you next week in Great Britain. My name is Gniewko. Watch me tomorrow in F1, And that's all for today. Goodbye.